Hey guys, how's it hanging everybody? This is StormPow and welcome to StormPod. This week we are talking with Alejandro Saab, or as some of you guys know him, KaggyFilms. Alejandro is most well known as a voice actor. He's got credits in Dragon Ball Legends, Pokemon Mastered, Sword Art Online, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, and the list goes on and on and on. He's also a YouTuber and a Twitch live streamer, and more importantly than all that, he is a great, wholesome dude and a wonderful friend of mine. And as always, if you want to get an even better podcast experience, be sure to check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/thestormpow. We record these live every Thursday evening, so following my Twitch not only gets you access to listen to the podcast episodes sooner, but we also do a pre and a post show where you get to interact and chat with myself and that week's guest. So without further ado, I hope that you enjoy this episode of StormPod with Alejandro Saab. Where did we meet? I don't remember where or when it was that you and I met each other. I have theories.
I think, if I'm gonna be real, I think it might have been, I think I saw, well, we definitely met, like, online.
Yeah.
No bullshit. The first time we met in person was probably when you were in Texas, what was it, a year or two ago?
Yes.
Before I moved?
Right.
Yeah, you were working at AT&T. I don't know if you still do, but the first time I think you had just uploaded some Dragon Ball content on Machinima.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yo, whoa. Dragon Ball games still exist?" And I think I started to look into it, and then I might have hit you up. Maybe.
So this is my theory, and it might be Mandela effect. I don't know.
All right.
Were you ever on the forum, Virtual Flicks?
Definitely not. Wait.
Holy shit.
Is that the Machinima one?
Well,
the one that.
Yeah. So were you?
They changed it to something else.
They did. Were you ever on the machinima.com forums back before those exploded and imploded?
A little bit. Mm-hmm. When they had their own website.
Yeah.
And you had to and that's how you had to submit your videos.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I was on that. That was when I was like fucking 11, 12 years old. That was like when I just learned what the internet was and stuff like that.
Right.
But then a lot of the people from that website, when that forum, I mean, this is back when forums were like the shit, I feel like, so that dates it. But like when that collapsed, everybody moved to Virtual Flicks, and then you're right, Virtual Flicks moved to something else, but I don't think that I stuck with that.
Yeah.
I almost remember you being on there, and I feel like you're right. I think you did like hit me up, but I feel like I at least was like, I had like this idea of like, I knew who you were from there. I don't know, but like for some reason that is standing out heavily in my head, and I'm glad that you at least think it's a possibility and that I'm not just completely crazy.
Yeah. Because I remember everybody was like, because I used to do Machinima back in the day, and it was primarily Halo, and I remember that commentary was fucking garbage because every Machinima maker that made Halo Machinima was like, fucking commentary, God, what are you, stupid?
Yeah.
It's like how people reacted to people who do reactions and now whoever plays D&D, like that kind of dumb shit, and then eventually they all end up doing the same thing.
Well, I was about to say, a lot of the people that I remember on those forums, they are actually really successful, like commentators and streamers and let's players.
Yeah, like that's the ironic part, like that you end up becoming the thing you hate most.
Yeah.
And oh man, I remember being on there, and I think I just wanted to get tips, or like I think I might have been looking for actors at some point, because I was making Machinima or help, and then eventually I was just like, you know what, fuck it, I gave up.
Because I remember that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then a buddy of mine, he told me if I wanted to do a commentary, and the first commentary I put up on Machinima Realm was, what was it called? Parkouring in Minecraft. And it was me and him, and it made me so much money as a 15-year-old, money that I never thought I would get in my life. I think I made like $500 off that video. And from then on, I was like, maybe there's something to this commentary shit.
That was me. Yeah, I was like, I was kind of one of those people that was like, oh, I want to make machinima videos. You know, I want to make true film. But then I kind of got over myself and I was like, I'm 13.
Yeah.
And I like playing video games. And, you know, like watching Scene Anners for me is when I was like, you know.
Oh, God.
Because my impression of what a like gameplay commentary was like all the idiots just, you know, being obnoxious. But then I'm like, yo, this guy is really intelligent and like, you know.
Yeah, Scene Anners was really good about that.
I'm like, he's articulate.
I was not that. I was not that at all. I was a fucking 14, 15-year-old little idiot yelling to the top of my lungs.
Right?
And I think some of those old-ass videos, you can still see when I first started doing commentary on YouTube. I don't think I've ever taken down these videos. It was me playing Super Meat Boy for the very first time. Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet, which was like an indie game on the Xbox 360, where it was like one of the first like Metroidvania kind of indies, and Dead Space Severed, because I remembered that I was like, oh, I'm a little bitch, and people love those types of reactions, so
yeah. Like, we're like, oh, let's take this thing that this Scene Anners guy is doing, and let's just fuck it in the ass, and let's, you know, let's make something. But it ended up working, you know. But yeah, like, I remember that, and I remember, you know, because I was looking at your channel, and, like, I always like to look at the old stuff, you know, when I have people on.
God.
But, like, no, like, it was really, you had a very... You really didn't have like a big cringy phase like most of us do. I feel like you.
I don't know. I think I had a really, when I first started doing commentary, like I think I had a really cringy phase because it was like that whispery kind of like, hey guys, how's it going?
Oh yeah. I'm talking really quiet because my mom is in the other room and.
Yeah.
I don't want her to hear me cuss at this video game.
Oh my God, I should private some of these. Bite me in the ass.
All right, everybody quick, go to his channel, download them now. We need them for blackmail.
Yo, wait, stop. Don't say like that.
JK.
Jeez.
No, there's way worse shit on anybody else probably. Like that's like the worst thing that I could find when I like went back, you know. I was like maybe I can find something kind of funny to tease you about. Like really, yeah, it's just shit like that. I mean, but you know, most of the time people have that, but for like a whole year or two. You had like one or two little mini Let's Play series that were kind of like that. And then all of a sudden you hit Defender of Mankind and you fucking blow up and boom. Now you're wearing a hat.
Ultimate Takeichi was definitely my blow up.
Same, and now you got your name on a hat that you're wearing right now. So I mean that
I sure do. Buy my merch.
right? Let's make him another $500.
$500, make me $1,000.
Right? I remember like the first, you know, YouTube monies that I got when I was in like high school like that, and I was like, well, this is it. I'm set for life. You know, I can just keep, you know, I can make like one video a month, and then you're like, wait a minute, rent costs how much? Wait, what?
Huh? What you mean?
What you mean? So like, give me a timeline, kind of roughly, because you know you were into like making machinima. So like, did you want to be like a filmmaker, or was that just like, oh, I like Halo and blah blah blah?
That was definitely I just like Halo, and I thought it was such a cool idea. I was such a huge fan of Red vs. Blue.
Yeah.
That I was like, oh, dude, I want to do that. Like, I want to do something. By the way, I am literally privating a bunch of videos right now.
God damn it! God damn it!
Like, I am privating videos that I was like,
they're not even that bad.
Yo, some of these Halo videos, I'm not even watching them, but I'm like, I know there is some shady shit on here, and I have got to private these right now.
Look, at least private them for now. Like, review them.
Commentary-wise, the commentaries are bad. I'll leave those up, but these other videos, yeah, these are getting privated.
Yo, like I said, private them now, review them later, maybe republish them, you know, once
yeah.
once they've gone through the, you know, have have Toasty sift through them for you, you know.
Have Toasty sniff through.
Hey,
I mean, that motherfucker has access to my account, so if he wanted to, he could
Right.
literally publish all of them and ruin me.
just be like, hey, Toasty, I'm gonna pay you for a little while. Your job today is sift through this, make sure there's nothing, inflammatory or whatever, and
Inflammatory.
and then we're gonna make these public again. All right.
Jesus Christ. So wait. What was the question?
Well, so like,
Sorry?
I guess kind of, how do you get from like where you were, hey, I like Rooster Teeth and I'm gonna make Halo Machinimas to like now I'm a voice actor and I've voice acted for like Rooster Teeth Productions,
Oh.
like I guess kind of where did that like interest come from? I mean, do you always want to go into voice acting or kind of?
Nah. So, I don't know. When it came to voice acting, it was actually funny enough. It was a Halo Machinima. A buddy of mine, we were really good friends in the Halo 3 days. We still talk from time to time, and he's really cool. His name is Dave. His YouTube handle is Tuss Spearhead, and he's really cool. He does different types of videos nowadays.
Yeah, I know him. Or of him.
Yeah,
at least.
they're still Halo focused
Mhm.
because he's a huge Halo fan. But he now does more like discussion videos on like, oh, these are some cool things that like we could do, like what the next Halo could be like, or these are nice little Easter eggs, like those kind of videos. And I actually find them very interesting and really cool. But I remember way back when, I think this was like 2011, maybe 2009, I want to say. It's when I was going through puberty. He asked me, he's like, hey man, would you voice a cop for me? And I was like, huh? I'm like 13 or 12, right? Like my voice is like up here, dude. Like, yeah, I need you to be a gritty cop. And I was like, all right, fam. So I did it, and I think he posted them on YouTube again. So you can watch my terrible performance. This was the very first time I ever did any type of VO. I played a character named Peter, and he was like, I think the very first line was, so Santa Arachne is finally dead. But it was like, so Santa Arachne is finally dead. But it was like the most deadpan fucking thing you could ever hear. And I was like, oh man, I sound so bad. Like, I guess I'll add a pitch filter or something, so it ended up like, so Santa Arachne is finally dead. Like, it just sounded like, oh, that's a pitch filter. You know what I mean? But over time, as he kept asking me to do it, because originally he wanted to do it as a one-off character. And then he's like, I really like the character and I kind of want to keep him. Would you still be interested in doing it? And I was like, I mean, sure, whatever. Just tell me when you need these lines. And I would do them. And as I did it more, it was really fascinating and interesting. And I was like, maybe I do want to do this. And I remember a year after working with him on that project, by the way, the project's called Captain Assassin. I forgot to mention that. That was the show. He told me, he's like, hey, are you still using that pitch filter? I was like, no, I haven't used it in a while. I got lazy. Like, and he's like, your voice is actually deeper than the pitch filter now. And I was like, oh, is that right?
Yeah.
And so I got really into acting, like voice acting, and I liked into like classes and podcasts, and like I watched like YouTube videos, like people who had done it before, like the people at Funimation, like Mel Blanc, and like all these other people. And I remember watching Adventures in Voice Acting, which was this like docu series that like Bang Zoom Entertainment had made. And I remember I was this was junior year of high school for me. And I had essentially an entire period free. Like I had an entire class where, because in my high school they had these teacher aides. So basically, like you would help out a teacher as like a free elective or whatever. I don't know who organized this, but this teacher, the teacher they assigned me to, she didn't have a class that morning, like those mornings. So I was like, huh? So she's like, yeah, you kind of just have a free period and you're just in my class now. And I was like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, nothing. I don't need you to do anything. You can just, I mean, I won't tell anyone if you don't tell anyone. And I was like,
Word?
well, damn.
Yeah.
That's the coolest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Deal?
So she's like, yeah, I know it's exhausting because it's literally the first class of the day. And I had to wake up at 5 a.m. every fucking day to get to the school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I basically just slept during that entire 2-hour period. And but at one point I started listening to this podcast called Voice Acting Mastery, and I started getting really interested. And eventually, like, that's what I really wanted to do, because for a long time I wanted to do animation.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went into college for it at SCAD, or Savannah College of Art and Design, I didn't want to do it anymore after my first year. Plus tuition was a bitch. But it's a great school. I was studying under Disney animators and all this other stuff, but it just wasn't for me. My parents did not like that shit. But I dropped out.
You can't go draw these cartoons. You need to go be a doctor.
Well, no, they were really happy for me when I wanted to draw cartoons. But when I told them I didn't want to draw cartoons and voice them, they're like, what the fuck?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like...
Which I'm like...
I feel like...
You're right.
Like, personally, you know, and this is, I mean, maybe a little bit hindsight bias. I feel like the concept of being able to, like, you know, obviously your parents want you to be, like, successful, you know, make a good living and all that stuff. I feel like it's more people probably make a decent living off of, you know, voice acting than maybe anime. I mean, I feel like animation, there's a even smaller circle, maybe.
I don't know. With VO, it all depends on where you are and what you book.
I was about to say, every voice actor that's listening to this right now just went, what the fuck? This guy, no hindsight bias.
That motherfucker don't know shit.
That's okay.
But yeah, so I dropped out of college, which I don't recommend if you're trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, or, you know.
Right.
If you're in school, stay in school,
mm-hmm.
you know. But I did it because my parents were like, oh, well, like, you know, you go to college for the connections and like
mm-hmm.
this, like think of all the people that you're going to be working with in the future that are in your department. I was like, well, at the time I was like thriving as a YouTuber. And I already had a connection with Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
And I remember I had before I decided I was going to drop out, I was flying into Texas for a convention, and the CEO of Funimation hit me up, Gen Fukunaga, and he's like, yo, you want to come and get a tour of Funimation? I was like, oh, just like that?
It's like that?
So I got a tour of Funny by the CEO himself, and to this day, like, people are like, yeah, that's unheard of. Mm-hmm. So, and I was like, oh, well, damn. But it was mainly to promote Resurrection F.
Mm-hmm.
And that is probably the cringiest video I've ever posted on my YouTube channel. It is me interviewing the CEO of Funimation, with interviewing him on Resurrection F. And I remember when that video went up, everyone's like, yo, this is the cringiest shit. Kaggy does not know how to interview. And I'm like, you are absolutely right, because I didn't know I was going to interview this man. Mm-hmm. Literally 5 minutes before the video started, this man tells me, you want to interview me? And I was like, huh? You mean me interview you? And he's like, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck? I am not prepared. So yeah, that video is still up on YouTube. And I was dressed in a fairy tale jersey, so very professional.
Right?
Definitely
interviewing a CEO attire.
Yeah. So I dropped out. I moved to Texas, or to Funimation,
mm-hmm.
For 4 years. I now live in Los Angeles, working on video games and cartoons and anime as well. But bringing it back to my friend that got me into acting, we reconnected again a year or two ago, and he's like, yo, man, you're really killing it. I can't believe that you actually like took this, like, like you went from I can't do this cop voice to being in all these different shows. And I was like, oh yeah, by the way, that cop voice that you had me do, I use that shit in anime. He's like, huh? What you mean? And I was like, watch My Hero Academia, watch Attack on Titan, watch Tokyo Ghoul Re, watch like literally any show that I voice a cop at, and I just always picture that character. And he's like, you're gonna make me cry. And I was like, well, believe it, bitch. Here we are.
Damn, that is so. I'm so glad that I asked this question now because truthfully, I was just expecting, like, oh, I was like a kid and I watched this anime and I heard this voice and I thought, oh, that's so cool. I can do this or I want to do this, or whatever, and like that. But that's a way better and I totally relate because like. Some of my really early videos, I did the same shit. Like I wasn't necessarily voice acting. I was doing like my commentaries and stuff. And yeah, like I was so self-conscious because I'd fucking go on Xbox Live and be called a squeaker. And then I'm like, I'm trying to make these. So that. I'd make my voice pitch a little deeper. And you're right. It sounded unrealistically deep. Like, like,
yeah, fucking... like, there's that you can make it sound real. Mm-hmm. Man, that one.
There's a thin line,
early
brother.
On ones.
Like,
yeah.
You really run the risk of sounding like Sam Elliott. I was about to say you're chain smoking grandpa, and then I'm like, wait, no, never mind. Sam Elliott. Like, you can so easily just, Coors, born in the Rockies, and
it's so funny because earlier today I was with I guess my VO mentor. I mean, I guess I can call him that. I don't know. The voice of Invader Zim, Richard Horvitz. I've been taking a lot of classes with him. I've been taking classes with him for over a year now. And today we're like working on commercials. Because I want to do more commercials. And back to your VO making more money bullshit. When you do commercials, you make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you do video games, make decent money. When you do anime, you make jack shit.
Really?
That's the worst. Dude, anime is... Here's the thing. Anime is the hardest part, one of the hardest things in VO. It is like you need to know technique, you need to know timing, like you need to know all these different things, like match the flaps and that needs to be slower and like all these technical things. And it is the least paying VO job.
Wow. When
it will take you hours to do like an episode or like, a batch of episodes. And you'll make, I don't know, we'll say at most $600, right, for hours. If you go in for a commercial, say like 5 things in 30 minutes, you walk out with $1,000.
Now, have you done any,
not more,
like Western animation? Is that the same situation?
It all depends. So, when it comes to Western animation, I haven't done too many. I've done Nomad of Nowhere. Primarily, it's been Rooster Teeth. I've done one Western animation with, two with Bang Zoom Entertainment. But they were non-union. So there's a difference between non-union and union.
Right.
Union is part of SAG-AFTRA, which is this whole complicated thing, which I don't know much about. I'm still learning it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
I know some like theater actors and like I'm familiar with that, but my understanding is very minimal.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's just like, when it's a non-union gig, you don't get the benefits, like you don't get like insurance eventually or whatever. And it can pay either really well or really poorly. Just depends. Like I like I said, I don't know too much about it, so that's why I'm trying not to say too much and lie through my fucking teeth. But yeah, the few times with Rooster Teeth, I've worked on Ruby and Nomad of Nowhere. Ruby, I voiced 2 characters, a dying huntsman and Henry Marigold, who has yet to come back.
Oh.
And in Nomad of Nowhere, I played the season 1 kind of like comedic villain, Red Manuel, where I just did a Hispanic accent. And then for Bang Zoom, I was in a Netflix show called Yoo-Hoo and Friends, where I voiced Marty, and I forgot the other character's name. It's on the internet.
It's on the internet, kids. Just Google it.
Yeah, and then the other show was called Treasure X, where I voiced El Lustro, which was another character with a Hispanic accent. And those are really the only shows I can think of right now that I've worked in Western animation. But it's really cool because when it comes to anime, which is what I'm primarily known for, when it comes to anime or like video games, usually you're recording by yourself, right? So it's just like one person in the booth, and you do your lines, and hopefully like they either played you in with someone else, so then like the read is more natural,
right?
or the director will direct you in the way that he or she envisions the project. With animation, with Western animation, there are times when you'll do ensemble, and ensemble is where you have multiple people, so it's very live. So that's how we did Treasure X. It was really cool. Like you had one person go, then another person, so you had to keep track of your script and where the fuck you were coming in. But it was really cool. The only time I've ever done, I can't talk about that. Never mind.
That's the worst.
It was for a video game. I had done additional voices, and we and we did that ensemble style, which I didn't know video games did that.
Yeah,
but I can't talk about it yet. Later in this year, maybe.
But soon. I find it really interesting, that it's the same with voice acting, because I listen to Dax Shepard's podcast, Armchair Expert, a lot, and he has kind of a similar vibe to this, but I tend to talk to content creators because that's who I know, whereas he talks to like actual actors, obviously, because that's his realm, and they talk about actor stuff, and but anyway, all that to say, like, I've heard it like 5 times on his podcast where he talks about like how doing commercials as an actor, he's like, you feel like you're selling your soul, but then you realize, like, yeah, like you said, how much money. They're like, God damn, I could do this movie where I don't see my family hardly for 3 years, and I'm gonna make this much, or like you said, go spend an hour, do a commercial. And he was talking about like feeling bad, like used to when he was first getting into acting, like he kind of felt like cheesy, like a sellout. But then I think it was Brad Pitt did like some kind of like some ad, I forget what it was even for, and he was like after that it's done. He's like, if Brad fucking Pitt is not too good to do a goddamn commercial, then neither am I. So like, just go with it at that attitude. You're like, just Brad fucking Pitt does commercials, so you know what?
Oh yeah, man. Like, another example is Bryan Cranston.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, but like he fucking did a commercial for Mountain Dew Zero the other day. New flavors, same taste. It was some shit like that. But essentially, they did a parody of The Shining with Jack Nicholson, but instead of Jack Nicholson, it's Bryan Cranston, and he's like trying to break through a door just to give her the girl in the bathroom a fucking Mountain Dew Zero. It was crazy, and I was like, that's fucking great, that's so wacky and out there. But yeah, man, and commercials are so interesting. I really want to get into that realm because like, I'm trying to do so many different things, and video games are really cool. Anime is cool. I just enjoy what I do.
That's great.
I know a lot of people when they do VO, and like, I mean, everybody is different, like, and that's totally fine. Like, some people do VO, like they want to do different types of VO because of money, or some people will only do a specific type of VO because that's what fulfills them. I just want to do all types of VO because I just have fun, and to this day, thank God, I have not gotten bored of VO, which is something I've always been scared of, because apparently ever since I was a kid, my mom was like, yeah, you pick up things really quickly, but then you get bored of them and give up, and like you just quit it. So I was like, oh, well, fuck, I hope that doesn't happen with VO, because and I thought the one that it wasn't going to happen with was animation. And, I mean, look at that. I dropped out of college. Like, fuck. So I was just like, God damn. Because I had been saying I wanted to be an animator since, like, middle school. And I was just like, damn. Because
I remember, you used to do a lot of art and animation, like you used to have...
Like, I still doodle. Yeah. Like, I still doodle from time to time. I actually want to make a cartoon eventually. But, like, it's just something that I'm, like, drafting up more than anything.
And that takes a lot of time, so like, understandably, you got a lot of like hats that you wear. I mean, no pun intended, since you are wearing a hat right now, but
well, I actually do own a lot of hats, so funny enough.
But like, I'm not even just saying this because you're hearing all that stuff, but I do like your art style a lot, and this is shit that I remember from years ago, so I'm sure, if you've even just been doodling, like, the thing that I always noticed about your art was like the faces on the characters were always very expressive. I always liked that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Like, I always liked that about cartoons, because there are some that are very like simple. And that's totally fine. Like, that's the art style. But,
Right.
like, I think I just like that wacky, like, I don't know, that, like, 90s, like, those faces, which is why I really like SpongeBob. I really like the SpongeBob cartoons, especially in recent years, because SpongeBob throughout the years has been really, like, expressive, but like, as time has progressed, they've got new animators, and they just look wackier than ever. It looks like something out of Mighty Bee. And Mighty Bee, I used to hate. But I think the Mighty Bee animation style on SpongeBob, I think, is amazing. I was like, I'm glad that they're going off model ever so slightly. But it gives them enough freedom to do whatever they want. Because, like, I love anime, but they just reuse the same 3, like, fucking flaps when it's, like, the perfect shot again. But
yeah. Well, that so you just recently announced a new role, like today, right?
Oh yeah.
So
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that. I'm excited for you. That one's awesome. Hey guys, how's it hanging, everybody? I hope that you're enjoying the episode so far. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I do want to go ahead and recommend something that might be pretty useful to you guys. If you're looking at starting a live stream, you've probably got a certain amount of money that you're willing to spend on investing in it, and you don't want to go over that. I really recommend checking out Streamlabs Prime and making that one of your first investments. Because I get it, when you're starting out live streaming, you don't know if you're going to make any money off of it or if you're going to stick with it, and so you're hesitant to spend a lot of money. But Streamlabs Prime is an investment that I can definitely recommend you guys make as new live streamers, because not only will it help you grow your audience and your community, but it will actually help you a lot in the monetization and the return on investment. Streamlabs is the program that over 70% of Twitch live streamers use, and Streamlabs Prime is their premium subscription service that gives you access to a ton, and I do mean a ton, of premium overlays and themes to make your live stream look more professional, as well as it gives you a creator website and a really awesome merch store. So be sure to go to streamlabs.com/editor ? Promo equals the StormPow and use my code to get yourself a monthly or an annual subscription to Streamlabs Prime. But anyway, back to the show.
So I announced today that I voiced Kukui in Pokemon Masters.
Yes.
And that was really cool. I auditioned for that in September of 2018.
Holy
I recorded
shit.
for it. Yeah, I recorded for it in October of 2018. This was before I even officially moved to Los Angeles. I was going back and forth between Los Angeles and Texas at the time. But funny enough, I voiced a different character on Pokemon Masters as well. I voiced Rourke, the fossil gym leader from the Sinnoh region. And he was the secondary character. I did not audition for Rourke. I remember I auditioned for Kukui and Crasher Wake, which is the old wrestler man. And they were like, "Oh yeah, you're Kukui," and I was like, "Holy shit, yes, that's awesome! I am so happy I get to be a professor." But for the longest time, I had no idea what this game was. They wouldn't tell us. And it was just so funny because at the time I had a track record of just voicing in mobile games. So I was like, there's Shallot, and now there's this. Fucking come on.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's this other mobile game. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of it or not.
Yeah, it's called Dragon Ball Legends.
Right.
But with Pokemon Masters, I remember when I was in the booth, they were like, all right, cool. We're going to record Kukui. We did all of Kukui. And it's like, and we have another character for you. And I was like, oh, really? Cool. Which one? And they're like, Rourke. And I was like, I love Rourke. Holy fuck. And I was this close to getting recast as Rourke. I was doing my Rourke voice, and they're like, it sounds too similar to Kukui. And I was like, well, bitch, it's my voice. I mean, the fuck you mean?
Right.
And they're like, you know what? Let's try this character. And I was like, okay. And it was Price from, I believe it was Johto, that like the old ice gym leader. And I'm like, that's not. Hold on, let me, and they're like thinking about it. And I was like, hey guys, can we go back to work? I think I got an idea. I think I know what you want. I think. So, and they're like, okay. And I gave it like this ashy kind of texture. It's like, I'm Rourke, the fucking Pokemon, blah, blah. And they're like, oh yeah, that's it. And I was like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. But yeah, so but it was really cool to audition for Kukui. I've been holding off on that one. I was really surprised that Rourke got announced before Kukui because Kukui was in the trailer along with Oak and Sycamore, I think.
Yeah.
If
I think you're right.
So I was like, oh, well, damn.
Well, damn.
I'm surprised that Rourke is like, all right. So I didn't think I'd have to wait till 2020 to talk about Kukui, but here we are. So I'm kind of glad. I'm really glad. I am a little disappointed that it's not in Cineroar, but you know what? Maybe in the future.
So the cycle on that is normally not nearly that long, from like audition to like announcing, you know, the role or whatever.
Well, it's apparently it usually is like that. So
really, Jesus.
The thing is that I've been spoiled, and I feel like a lot of actors, specifically in Texas, have been spoiled. In the sense of like Funimation has this method called simuldub, where they dub a show, and then they'll dub a show, and the show comes out literally like a week or two later. Like that's because they're insane. Just the recording process is crazy, like stupid crazy. So they can talk about it like that. Since moving to LA, I worked on something in January of last year. I still can't talk about it, and I don't know when I'll be able to talk about it.
Jesus. I would like forget that I was in shit. Like I would get an email like, hey,
yeah.
Hey, Darren, it's good to talk about this, and I'm like, wait, what?
But the thing is, there are some things you just cannot forget about because they're just like in your brain constantly. Like I've worked on a number of things. Like I worked on something in October of this past year. I recorded for a month, and I can't talk about it yet. I worked on something in December, and I thought I was going to be able to talk about it, but I can't talk about it yet. Like, it's just a number. Like, honestly, since moving to LA, it's just the waiting to announce stuff is a lot longer. Like, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Like, it's because, and I feel anxious and impatient because I was spoiled because of Funimation, because I used to do a lot of simuldubs, and then I could just talk about it like willy-nilly, but this is different. So,
wow. So your other mobile, main mobile game character, Shallot, from Dragon Ball Legends. So how long? Because he recently, like, they had the whole thing where he went Super Saiyan 3, and like that was fucking epic. And like, I only wish that like I was there with you when they announced, or like when they told you that, that. How long did you have to keep that one a secret?
For Super Saiyan 3, so the thing with Dragon Ball Legends, they never tell me when things happen. They really never do. There are very few details that they have told me that from the beginning, right? There are very few details, some that may or may not happen. So they're always like alluding, like, oh, like this might happen, we just need to get approval to see if it even.
Do you think that they're like extra careful with you because you're kind of like in that scene on YouTube?
Well, they had no idea.
Oh, okay.
They had no idea. They actually cast me based on my acting.
Right.
And when I told them that, number one, when I told them I was a huge Dragon Ball fan, and I told them that I was a YouTuber, they're like, oh? Really? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, we had no idea.
That's interesting.
So when I auditioned for Shallot, this was early 2018. This is like probably January or February. Like, hey, here's this private audition. Please don't share this around. It's super NDA. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I thought it was Xenoverse 3. Like, I thought it was, because it mentioned time travel. And I was like, oh, maybe this is like the original character for the game. Like, I guess now they won't let you create a character, and this is just like the staple. Or maybe this is like the character, and you'll be able to customize them, like, as the game progresses. Something like that.
Right.
And I was like, oh, cool. It's cool that I'd have my companion Bulma and Jaco. Like, that's all I knew. And I auditioned. I think I auditioned, and then I waited like a month and a half. So in the middle of March, I get a DM, not an email. I get a private message from Chris Sabat, and he's like, hey, congrats, Japan chose you. I was like, what the fuck?
Did you read it in Vegeta's voice?
No, no. So yeah, he just told me that, and I asked him. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. Thanks for letting me know. Can I know what the game is, or like what's this about?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Oh." Like, he just said no. It's like, no, we can't talk about it. He just goes, no. And I think he might have said it's like super NDA, but whatever. And then like a month later after that, still waiting, haven't recorded at all. They make that big press conference for Dragon Ball Super Broly and how they're going to announce this new game, which was Dragon Ball.
Right.
And I saw the character, like I saw the logo, and I was like, yo, wait a minute. Is that me? Is that me? And I remember messaging Saab, and I was like, yo, is this the game? I hear nothing. The event happens. They mention the character. They mention the name, and I was like, God damn. Haven't announced anything yet.
He's like, what part of Super NDA do you not fucking understand?
Right. And then 3 days after I messaged him, he messages me back and just goes, yeah. Like, just, yeah. But and then a month after that, we finally recorded.
Wow.
And then the soft launch and all that. As for Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 3 was like alluded to before I recorded. So I found out Shallot was going Super Saiyan 3 when they alluded to Shallot going Super Saiyan 3. They didn't tell me, but I did record, like, this was actually the quickest recording, because I didn't think we were even going to record anything, and I'm kind of glad we did.
Right.
Like, probably, like, a month before the update came out. Like, it was, like, really quick, because I had recorded pretty much everything, like Super Saiyan 1 and 2, in that first session, which was like in April, I think. And that, and they've been using audio from that till today. There's audio that's not even in the game yet that I recorded day one. Like, they haven't even released that yet. But then we recorded some new stuff, like when I recorded Super Saiyan 3. So
yeah, because I was almost like, man, what if like you didn't even know, and until like it got announced, they're just like searching through. All right, Alejandro Saab _ screaming _2.wave. Like, all right, we can use that. Yeah, it's cool. You know.
Yeah. Like, and they have the right to do that, like, every now and then, and that's fine. But they know how much of a Dragon Ball fan I am, so they'll tell me certain things, and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, so Shallot is gonna do this," and I'll flip out in the booth, and they're kind of really happy that like that I am such a fan, because like I remember in the booth we were talking about Super Saiyan 3, and I was like, "Oh, so do you want me to go lower for this, right?" And they're like, "Yes, please do," and I was like, "Cool," and I was like, "Do you want me to say it like how Goku says it, like, and this is Super Saiyan 3, like that kind of thing, or do you want a different cadence? Like try to mimic it, because it's such an iconic line." And I was like, yeah, sure. And we've done that with like a bunch of different lines, like Kamehameha and Gallic Gun, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, they've told me certain things, but of course I can't disclose everything.
Right.
But I remember when there's another character called Giblet, who is Shallot's twin brother, and I remember everybody's like, "Oh, Kaggy, he's not gonna know. It's gonna take him by surprise." And then when they announced that he's Giblet in the game, like in the story mode, I just looked dead in the camera and I'm like, "Y'all stupid idiots really didn't think I'd know? You dumb motherfuckers." And they're like, "Oh, what?"
Like, you think you guys are gonna know something before me? Like,
you think I'm not gonna know about this?
Think you're gonna pull a sneaky on me?
Y'all stupid. Everyone was so disappointed. They were like, yeah, he's not gonna see it coming. Oh man, I just can't believe it. But yeah.
What was your first role in voice acting where you were kind of like, holy shit, like I made it? Like your first like big breakout, I guess, yeah, breakout role is a good term for it.
Man, that's tricky. Because I've had multiple moments like that. I've actually had a Afro ask me this question. Because I've had it multiple. The very first thing I auditioned for at Funimation was a Fairy Tail. And I ended up being in Fairy Tail. And I was like, God damn, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But it was never like, I fucking made it, right? I think the closest I've felt to that was Shallot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, after that. And Afro, I remember he asked me, he's like, so, do you feel like you've done it? Like, you've made it? And I was like, nah, like, it's close. And this is hype.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've made it yet. And there's a thing I've worked on recently that never in my, like, I jokingly told my cousin, I was like, yo, I'm gonna move and I'm gonna be in the next thing of this. And he's like, all right, good luck. And it happened. And one of my friends, Erica Limbeck, she's really cool, and she's like this prolific fucking voice actress right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's like Felicia in Spider-Man, the PS4 game, Futaba in Persona 5, like among a bunch of different fucking things.
Yeah.
And the other day, like, she found out that I got cast in this thing, and she's like, yo, like, you fucking did it. And just the other day, I was like it's like slightly closer to that feeling of like, I've done it. But I feel like I will never truly feel that way in the sense of like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but like, not in the sense of like, yo, I'm sick and tired of the shit, but in the sense of like, I am done striving for more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think because the way I am, I always look towards the next thing, and I'm always happy being part of the projects that I have been, because it's insane being in like projects like that. But I think for me, like, the next step from how this game made me feel, like I genuinely have been thinking about getting a tattoo, is how impactful this fucking game has made me.
Wow.
And
you don't have tattoos, do you?
I don't. I'm like fucking bare. I'm
Same.
Hispanic. My dad has literally said, I will rip your skin off if I see a tattoo on that body.
And this is worth getting your skin ripped off.
Yeah, like, it's kind of like that. So I was just like, yo, like, like, I genuinely felt that way about Shallot, but it wasn't like something that I was like, you know, like, it was one of those like, nah, I don't need it. You know, like, Shallot is fucking amazing.
Right.
But like, I don't think there's like a symbol that signifies him specifically that, you know, because like, I mean, oh, you can get a Dragon Ball, like, you can get like this, but it's like, it doesn't, like, if I want something of Shallot, I want it to be something that is like, when you see it, you're like, that's it. And I swear to God, if anyone tells me an actual Shallot, I will fucking kill you. Not literally Twitch. It's a joke. It's a joke. Or YouTube.
Everybody.
Right? Everybody.
I'm really glad you said that, because I was about to be like, I mean, just get a tattoo of his face, like, on your chest. I mean, so.
But this game, there are two symbols specifically that signify this character and his crew, and just like, and I didn't realize, like, I remember going in for this audition, and I was like, yo, I can't believe I'm even here. Like, this is insane. Like, wow, like, I'm auditioning for this thing? Holy shit. And I swore, I was like, yo, I'm going to get the bro. Like, there's no way. Because, like, there's this character, and then there's the bro. And I was like, I'm getting the bro. Like, it's just done deal, baby. All right, I'm here. Let's go.
He got the hat on backwards.
Because those are the characters that I usually play. I play, like, the comedic relief, the douche. Yo, what up, bro? Like, that kind of character. And this character was, like, very, very soft and very regal and very in control. Like, he had a little bit of a cockiness to him. But when I saw this character, I was like, there's no way that's me. But I'm going to give it my best shot.
Dude, I'm getting, like, goosebumps. I'm like, I'm getting hype.
Yeah, and then the week after, or not the week after, like, I want to say like a week and a half later, I was in Houston I was in a whole different. I was in Texas, and I get a text message. Well, I get an email, and they're like, "Hey, we want to know your availability." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh,
and they're like, "Congratulations! Like you booked the thing." They didn't tell me who I booked, so I thought I'm the bro. It's a done deal. A week later, I walked through that door, and I'm like, "Hey, congrats! You're this guy." And I was like, "What the fuck? Are you sure?" Like, I was like,
did you mean to call a different guy? Yeah.
Yeah, like I think you got the wrong guy. And they're like, no, we really liked what you did, and we really think you can bring something to the table. And I was like, well, damn, all right. And we did it, and yeah, like I walked out, and I was like, fuck. And but yeah, there are two symbols that represent them, and I kind of want to like figure out a way to combine them and possibly get a tattoo.
Wow.
But like, yeah.
Damn,
that
dude.
one. And that one soon. Oh man.
Well, I mean, like, I get what you're saying. Like, you're always trying to find the next big thing, and like, just because you quit, maybe like, trying to find the next big thing or the next advancement. You. That's not to say like, oh, I'm done voice acting. It's just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna hit coast mode for a little bit,
Well, it's not even that. It's just like, it's more of like how a project has left me impacted, right? Because like, one of the first anime I ever worked on was the show called Nambika, and it was about these prisoners. But it was such an impactful show in my life. I that was like one of the first times. It's like, I wonder what it'd be like to get the tattoo that my character has on his arm. Like just a fun little idea.
Yeah.
And he actually had symbolic, like there was symbolism to it, but I also didn't know what it meant. So I wasn't going to get it.
Yeah, maybe find that out first. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Before burning something into your flesh,
Yeah. So, like very few things have left me feeling the way I felt about the performance I gave on that game.
Wow.
There was a show called Sarazanmai, and that was a show that left me feeling that way too. That's a really cool show. It's a really weird show. It starts off really weird, but it hits on social commentary a lot. It's I always forget this director's name, but he worked on Utena Utapri. Sorry, not Utapri. Where was it? Utapri. I don't know. And Penguin Drum. And he's worked on like a bunch of different shows. He helped with Sailor Moon and stuff, but he's always been known for the weird and hitting social commentary. And this show Sarazanmai is very bizarre, but it was really, it made me feel in a way that I haven't felt in the booth before, which was kind of crazy.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm getting real deep.
I'm like, shit.
This is not what I fucking signed up for, man. I wanted to laugh.
No, this is the good shit. This is why I do this. I mean, hell, we could play Trials Evolution or whatever like we did back in the day for a...
Oh, fuck, dude.
You don't know.
I mean, they keep making more.
Yeah. No, that's really awesome. That's not where I thought that was gonna go, but like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like I just
yeah.
I was just kind of like, okay, like I was thinking about, what are some things, some roles that have left an impact on you, but that is really saying something. Like all of what you said about like getting a tattoo for a role and just like some of those things where because Toasty, I had him on last week and he. He talked briefly about like editing your videos and stuff. He said that you're a little bit of a workaholic, like in a great way, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Just
Oh yeah.
And so like that, I could totally. I'm just saying like that aligns with what you're saying here. About like always looking for the next thing. And again, that's a good thing, obviously. But yeah,
right.
That's That's pretty awesome though, and I'm really happy for you. Like I said, I think it's such a glow up. Like I said earlier, go from watching Red versus Blue to working with fucking Rooster Teeth and all these other. It's just
right.
Have you ever gotten like recognized by your voice? Because I feel like that's something that I don't know if that's actually happens. Like, I mean, are you ever just like, you know, like you're at Taco Bell and you're in the drive-thru and you're just like, yeah, I'll take a steak quesarito, and they're like, shall it?
I think that's only ever happened once by my voice alone. Like I have gotten recognized.
Right. Like if you're at like a con or something, you know, people.
Right.
People are
but
more
like outside of cons, I have gotten. I got recognized once in New York. I was with my sister and we were just in this electronics store, and this kid is with his dad and he's like, Kaggy? My sister's like, no fucking way. Like my sister was not having it. But by my voice alone, I think I was with my girlfriend at an In-N-Out. And I think this might have been Texas. I could be wrong. And I remember I was like, yeah, I'll have this. And then the person in the car behind me, when I finished ordering, he's like, yo, shallot! I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, I love you in Legends, bro! And I was like, bitch, how did you...
I literally love...
You saw the back of my head!
I love that I just came up with this concept of you being in a drive-thru, and that's actually fuck.
I was like, that's what it reminded me. I was like, oh, damn, like, that did happen.
Holy shit.
But it was the person behind me. It wasn't like the employee.
Still. Now your girlfriend's also a voice actress, right?
Yes.
Did you meet her like while working on a project, or?
We met through Skype around the same time we met. Funny enough, we had just been friends for like forever. But then like one day I think we just like started memeing, and then we just ended up dating. I remember I yelled at my cat at one point. And I was like, does she like me? I don't know, bro. And my cat's just like, yeah. Yeah, it's the black one back there.
The black cat in your
one.
camera? Okay.
Yeah, that cat. I just kept yelling.
And did the cat confirm whether or not? I mean, was it like shaking an 8-ball and you just get some weird ass meow?
You know, I'm gonna say that he just said yes.
You're like, should I ask her out right now? You know?
Yeah, right. It was one of those things.
So you live in California right
LA.
now, LA, okay. And then you lived in Texas, you know, mostly around like Funimation. You grew up in Florida though, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Florida from 6 to 20, I want to say, because I moved to Texas around when I was 20.
Okay.
But before Miami, I was in Ecuador.
That's like literally like, yeah, you went from east to west and like even made a little pit stop in the middle there. Like which one of those was your favorite places to live at?
Definitely not Miami. I fucking hate Miami. Florida fucking sucks.
I've heard that from a lot of people, that Florida is, I mean, no offense to people that live in Florida, but like, and like it, but.
Dude, Florida fucking sucks. Florida, everyone bitches about traffic everywhere. Like everyone bitches about New York. Everyone bitches about LA. Everyone bitches about Texas. New York, I totally understand. You have the right to bitch and complain. Understandably so. Miami drivers are the fucking worst. Miami drivers are fucking assholes, stupid, and will just get angry at anything. Literally, the light turns green and you don't move, they honk. If it, like, literally within the second. If you don't press the gas pedal in that millisecond, you're done. There's always construction. It's fucking trash. I hate it. It's great to visit.
Yeah.
But never live there, in my opinion. Like, and it's so funny because when anything south of Orlando is Hispanic territory. Anything above Orlando is white country. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Florida is split up in two. It's insane to me. Like, is literally like anything under Orlando, like, is Hispanic country, but anything like lower than Miami, that's fucking North Cuba. And I can say that. I'm part Cuban. It's fine. Just giving that disclaimer. But anything above Orlando, that shit is white centered.
the
Like
speaking of like traffic and like one thing I noticed every time I've been to Florida is like you can U-turn anywhere. They have all these like things set up like they have okay, so it's like you know how Apple I'm gonna go off just a little bit here for just a moment. Bear with me here. So you know how
Can I, before you go off,
yeah.
I want to answer.
Okay.
No, you can't. People just fucking do it.
Okay. Well, maybe, yeah.
They don't follow the law. They just fucking U-turn. They can't. They just do it. I've seen it. My dad has done it. You fucking kidding me?
You're just like, fuck this shit. Let me hit the e-brake and...
Yo, like, no bullshit.
Because, like...
Fuck Florida.
I know
Go on.
there's... So, like, where I'm from, in Tennessee, like, you know, so say I need to take a left turn onto a road and, like, there's one or two lanes going this way, then there's a turning lane in the middle, and then there's, you know, the other lanes going the other way. So, like, normally if I need to take a left turn, and you know it's a little trafficy, you get in that turning lane first, and then you ease your way in. Technically, I think that's illegal, but everybody does it. Like, you kind of have to sometimes. But anyway, Florida generates a problem by, like, instead of having a turning lane, like, all the way through, there's, like, a grassy median, like, going across. And then...
And this is how you know they're assholes.
Yeah.
They'll U-turn on the grass.
Exactly. Like, every now and then they'll, like, put a little split, and they're like, okay, you can U-turn here. And I'm like, you know, you wouldn't really need, like, if you just had the whole turning lane, like, why'd you guys... I don't know. Like, maybe they were trying to save money on, like, putting asphalt everywhere or something, you know.
Dude, it's fucking bad.
Or they had to appeal to the tourists by, like, planting these fucking palm trees in the middle of the road.
It's not that you can U-turn anywhere. It's just these fuckers U-turn when they can.
Mm-hmm.
And when they can't and are waiting because someone is trying to U-turn, they'll literally go on the fucking grassy hill thing and just U-turn there if there's space enough between the fucking trees.
Like, I'm just imagining... Damn, you really went off. But, like, I'm just imagining, like, a fucking, like, smart car just being like, this is why I drive this shit. You know, I can get through anything right now, you know? You motherfuckers in your yee trucks, you can't...
And your yee.
You can't U-turn wherever you want. No, I wish that you still lived in Dallas or around Dallas, because I'm probably going to Dallas for my bachelor party later this year, because I fucking love Dallas.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I've only been like twice, but still.
Right. So out of all three places, I actually like LA the most.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's fucking crazy.
I've not been to LA, so I mean...
Texas and LA have a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. Texas is definitely the cheaper place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And gas is like, everything is cheaper in Texas, right? And I love that about Texas. Fuck, their houses are huge as fuck for like $250,000.
Right.
And I was like, God damn it, why did I move? But like when it's winter, man, it's fucking winter. It's just cold as fuck down there. But I mean, for you, that probably means nothing. But like, I don't know. The downside to Texas, everything is so spread out.
Yeah.
Everything is so fucking spread out. LA, everything is a lot closer. It's usually anywhere from like 50 to 80 at most, unless it's summer. And I love that type of shit. You wake up early in the morning and it's cold. And then throughout the day it warms up. And I was like, yo, I love that shit. It's great. I love the weather in LA. Everything is a lot closer. Sure, gas is a lot more expensive, but the amount I drive, everything is like at a 15-mile radius. The unfortunate thing is, there are so many goddamn people in LA that a 15-mile drive is an hour.
Yeah, I've heard that shit, and that I would fucking immediately, like, I would just park my car, get out of the car, and just walk to another state. Just keep going until I hit Washington or so. Wait, I probably just... No, never mind. You can't get to Washington directly from California. I did go to middle school. I know these things.
I didn't.
You're like, not only did I drop out of college,
I dropped out of life.
Damn. So real quick, I would just wanted I've talked about this on my streams before, but I've told like people in my streams the nice date that you took me on, and I hope that you take Hayden on dates this nice. Kaggy was a gentleman, picked me up from where I was staying, took me to a nice sushi restaurant, and bought me a bunch of sushi from a conveyor belt. Brought me to a place where
Kuda Sushi.
Yeah, that place was legit. I had never been to one of those like sushi bars before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just like, what a nice date. He picked me up, dropped me off, brought me home before my curfew, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
I know how to treat you right.
He did. But yeah, it was awesome. So far, you're the only person I believe like that I've met online and then met in person. And I mean, it didn't go like the MySpace stories that my parents told me about. Like, you didn't kidnap me and you know, like, so I mean, overall 10 out of 10 would recommend.
There it is. You're welcome.
Just add that to your resume. You know, you are a
10 out of 10 would recommend.
You're a voice actor, animator, a great date. You
great bachelor apparently.
So real quick, I just now kind of remembered this too. So you adding to the list of things that you have in your little repertoire, you've recently started doing covers again.
Yes.
and yeah, you seem to be enjoying that a lot.
Yeah. I'm trying to do more of that. I have a couple of mixers. I have such a backlog. I spent so much money last year on these instrumentals, but I had no one to mix them. So I have like 20 songs, like over 20 songs I need to record.
So
some of them don't even have lyrics.
So you mean you like, what do you mean when you say you like paid for the instrumentals or whatever?
So, in order to avoid copyright, I paid someone money to recreate the music, the instrumental, the backtrack.
Gotcha.
So I did that, so then I can put it up on iTunes and Spotify, so it's all on there. But right now I'm waiting on 4 different songs. Well, actually, one of them just got finished, so I'm waiting on 3 different songs, and I'm just trying to get that going because I'm kind of determined to have a weekly song ready.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
But if I can't, 2 songs a month I think is pretty solid. But if I could at least if by the end of the year I want to have 100,000 subs and a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, or don't you mean, what is it, 1 million? I'm like, wait a minute.
I don't think I can do it that quick.
So
I mean, if anything, I could probably get to 200,000 before that, because I'm at 66.
Oh, on your
67.
WEB, your
Yeah,
cover.
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
I thought you meant on your
no,
main
this is on
channel.
a
I was like,
separate
wait a
channel.
minute, hold up.
No.
Gotcha. So like, do you mostly just have interest in doing like, you know, theme songs and things, or I mean, are we gonna start seeing some fucking classic? Are we gonna hear Hotel California by Alejandro Saab?
No. The whole point is to do anime covers, video game covers, and maybe a musical here and there.
Okay.
Like hell, even cartoon songs. 'Cause I have a couple of Steven Universe songs that I really want to cover.
Gotcha.
But I really want to cover. I really want to cover a lot of the Disney Channel opening themes, like American Dragon Jake Long.
Oh my god,
I really love that fucking opening. That and Danny Phantom.
I was literally just about to say I want you to do Danny Phantom so bad. I mean,
yeah, I might do like an album or something, since they're so quick. I might do an album of like just like classic cartoon songs, and if it does well,
the Danny Phantom.
I remember I had really stupid names for them, because me and my buddy Howard, we came up with some names. Mind you, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna have to change this title completely for this album. But we wanted to make an album where we just did 4Kids openings, like from the 4Kids network,
right?
And we would call it 4Kids, and then we're like, you know what? I don't think we could do that.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying?
You're like, hey, I've already paid for this cover. I'm gonna pay a lawyer just a quick consult on this.
Yep. A quick consultation. We did. We wanted to make one called Toonami, but like since it would be the second album, it would be called Two Nami. So it'd be like TWO Nami. And I was like, that's clever, whatever. And I don't know, just stupid stuff like that. But I don't know. I really want to do like cartoon. I really want to do sitcom openings at one point.
Oh my god.
I really want to do like Boy Meets World and like Full House.
Oh my god.
Stupid shit.
Dude,
I don't know. But we'll see how those go. But I definitely want to do that. That was more like that could be a funny little like April Fool's like kind of joke shit.
If you need like B-roll, I will put on a tacky 90s sweater and like I will make a clip of me being like Joey Gladstone or something in your Full House intro. Yeah, cut it out and like I'll fucking I'm dedicated to this idea. I'm gonna go on eBay and buy a Mr. Woodchuck or whatever puppet and what's the smell of world? I will get into this.
Oh my god!
I want to support this. Make a GoFundMe right now.
That one I don't know.
Just go ahead and crush my dreams.
Cartoon,
just punch me in the face.
Look, the cartoon one I definitely want to do because American Dragon Jake Long is fucking fire.
Yes.
Danny Phantom was really good. I just have to think of more of those openings. The 4Kids one is more believability.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one's more believable because it's God. They have so many good songs. Shaman King. Ultimate Muscle, Kirby Right Back at Ya, Sonic X, even Spider Rider. Like that show was trash, but that opening was fucking fire, like flames. But 5Ds, Yu-Gi-Oh 5Ds. That's one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh opening. Going fast. Fuck, God, I love it.
I was about to say like do some Sonic X. That'd be great.
Oh yeah. I do have an instrumental for that.
you're like way ahead of you. I've signed a super mega ultra NDA, but
dude, I've been ahead since last year.
It's like the Marquise Brownlee memes. It's like, hey, my name's Kaggy. I've been listening to this cover for the past 2 weeks now. It's really great.
Oh man, I actually do want to come out with the Sonic X one on April 1st. I think that'd be really funny.
Damn, dude.
I actually did the One Piece rap 2 years ago.
You should do the Pokey rap if you're gonna do that.
Nah, everybody is like, oh, do the first Pokemon opening or do Johto. I really want to do like one of the more conspicuous ones because like no one ever talked about like Advanced Battle or like like everybody shits on it, but I kind of want to do a better version of Diamond and Pearl because everyone always makes fun of it, but it was so funny because I was in the squad Discord. And then, like, it's like, oh, yeah, but fucking Diamond and Pearl opening. And then, like, we're, like, ragging on it, but we all knew it. We all just started fucking going off, and we're like, wait a minute!
Can you rap? Like,
can I rap?
Decently. Like, enough to do Danny Phantom. I mean, some of that's kind of, like, not really rap, but,
I can,
If
someone were to lay down a scratch and I memorize the rap, then yes. If you want me to freestyle, I absolutely cannot do that.
Same. Like I was on the Secret podcast. This was like right back when I got into the content creation scene. So I was still a little bit shy, just to be honest. Like,
Right.
And one of the first things I did was I was on the Secret podcast and they just out of nowhere, they're like, all right, so we're going to do the Secret podcast freestyle. And I'm on there with fucking Xavian and like Omega, like actual rappers kind of. And like, but anyway, and I have to freestyle. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this shit? Now, like you tell me to like rap my favorite Childish Gambino's, like I got that because like the words are there. I know
it's
beat.
A bonfire. Turn the lights out.
Yeah, I can like do that. Like fucking give me a couple adult beverages and I can really do it. Some confidence juice. But no, like
fucking hell.
I can't. Yeah, I'm the same way. I can't freestyle worth shit. But
yep.
So real quick. We'll wrap it up. I just and you can make this like as long or as short as you want to. I mean, I don't know, is open ended. Like I said, we're not on a time crunch, but however you want to answer this, what is some advice that you would give maybe to somebody who wants to, you know, I imagine you get this a lot. So you probably like are about to.
You're fine.
I was about to say you're gonna hit a button on your Go XLR and it's gonna play a pre-recorded answer. But yeah, what's some advice you would give to somebody trying to get into voice acting?
Getting into voice acting. I mean, taking classes is always the answer that like people will tell you. And they tell you for a reason because it's true. You should take classes. You don't be like, yo, my friend says I got a great fucking voice. Like, it's like, that's cool. But can you act? Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Oh, God.
Nah, bitch, you gotta act. So acting classes definitely highly recommend, whether it be improv, theater, movement and performance. Yo, if you're a fucking athlete or you're like a dancer, like someone who's an on stage actor, or you want to do that shit, but it's like you don't really want to be in theater, there's a thing called mocap, which is like the future of like voice acting, where essentially you put on this suit and you have to memorize all your fucking lines. And I'm fucking forgetful as shit, so I'll forget all my lines. But they put like little dots on you and you're essentially acting out the scene, and that's like what's gonna end up in the game. But don't be afraid to yell. A lot of people, especially newer actors, are always scared to yell because someone's in the other room, or like, don't do pay to play sites, especially starting out, because you're just gonna be wasting your money.
Is that like you have to pay just to be able to audition or something like that?
Yes.
Oh God,
yes.
yeah,
yes. There are websites like that, and I mean, you do what you got to do. But
I mean, I understand it kind of reduces the shitty auditions, kind of only people that are really serious.
Well, it's not even that, because like it's taken away, because like those websites are like companies taking advantage of the fact that people will pay to do their spots for a lot cheaper. Like, I mean, shit, they could do a commercial for like maybe $200, but if they would have gotten it through like their agent or like out auditioning like properly, they could have probably gotten like anywhere from $1,000 to $10,000, if not more. So it's just those pay to play sites take advantage of the fact that people are willing to audition for such a low price. There are plenty of other websites like Casting Call Club, Voice Acting Club. There used to be a lot more when I started out online. Always watch your mic gain, because you're probably going to be peaking a lot. I think I actually peaked a lot throughout this whole fucking thing because of how loud my laugh is. But whenever you see the waveform turn red, that means you're peaking. Don't move if you're unprepared. For the love of God, I have seen this way too many times. Don't move if you don't have enough money saved up. Don't move if you don't have a friend group. Don't move if you're fucking not taking any classes and just be like, I'm gonna be anime famous. For the love of fuck, don't do that. Don't show up to studios unannounced demanding an audition. There's a reason I'm telling you this, because all of this shit has happened. I've seen half of these things happen. Hell, I've seen all of these things happen. But don't do it. Bide your time, work your ass off, take classes, and then in time, the work will come. Richard Horvitz is still to this day a really big inspiration. He's always talking about determination. He hates calling things goals, because if it's a goal, it'll be like a New Year's resolution, right? Like you'll say it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to lose X amount of pounds, or oh yes, I'm going to do this and this and this. And then you never get to it, or you give up after a month. But with a determination, you are determined to do that. You write down a list, you break it down how you're going to get to your determination, finish your determination. And it's really fucking helpful. Surprisingly, what a word change can do. So whenever I say it's like, I am determined to do this. I'm determined to lose weight. I am determined to audition, to be able to audition for this. I am determined to get this agent. How am I going to do it? And I break it down, and it's really cool. So If any of you want to move, if it's to Texas, if it's to LA, to New York, whatever, like wherever you want to do acting or whatever, make a budget, save up money, have a friend group, or know somebody there. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you right now, like, you may be monetarily prepared, you may be physically prepared, but if you don't have friends, or you don't make friends quick, or that's just not the type of person you are, like if you don't have contact with someone, you're going to get emotionally depressed, and you won't be emotionally prepared. And you will be like, I hate it here. I want to die. And I'm not even joking. Like, I know I just said it in that way, but like, it's just, you don't realize it, that that's what you need. You don't realize that you're going to need like human interaction until it's too late. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, I make it a habit of mine to get out of my apartment at least once a day. If not, like at least more than once a week. So and I can see people, and be like, oh yeah, I'm human. I'm not alone in this fucking world.
Right. I don't just stare in front of a screen or a mic.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yo, I love talking to fucking Darren here, and I love talking to my friends, like, on Discord and whatever, but it's such a different experience, like, just interacting with humans, especially with, if you're an actor, you probably have a fragile ego. So, just don't compare yourself. Everybody goes through their journey their own way. Know what I mean? Like, you'll see, like, if you start becoming friends with actors, you'll see that they'll fucking announce, like, 50 bajillion things. And, or, like, so-and-so announced this, so-and-so announced that. And then you'll be like, oh, well, damn, I didn't even get to read for that. Or, oh, damn, why did this person get it? Oh, damn. Don't compare yourself. Because if you compare yourself, you're just going to end up being depressed constantly. Because then you'll be like, well, I'm not good enough. Like, how come I didn't get to read for that? Or, like, it's like, fuck, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, am I not good enough? Like, blah, blah, blah. Especially when you audition for something and someone else, like someone you know, got that part. You're like, fuck, I auditioned for that and I thought I did my best and blah. There's so many different things that could have happened that were the reason you didn't get it. Like, fuck, it might be like, oh, they decided to go a different direction in the sense of the voice. Oh, the character just changed completely. Or it's just, sometimes it's like, a director, especially over in Texas, because of how fast the pacing of their process is going, they're just like, oh, I don't have time to do proper auditions. Who do I know? Or like, what demos do we have on file, or that kind of stuff? And do I know this person or not? So it's like, just that comfortability level. Don't be too friendly too quickly, because everybody hates that. You can be friendly, don't be too overly friendly. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be like, hey, how's it going? Be polite, of course, and be like, yo, I've heard nothing but nice things about you, like this, blah, blah. Like, be nice, but don't be like, yo, what up, bitch? How you doing? And don't act like you've known each other for fucking 10 years.
Don't try to be like a clout chaser.
Yeah, don't, because everyone can fucking see it. Everyone can see if you're thirsty. Everyone looks at social media. Everyone, you have no idea. You have no idea how much people talk.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, be mindful of what you say. If you're talking shit about someone, it's a very small community. Whether it be YouTube, acting, advertisement, sports, it is always a small fucking community. And people will always find out, because people love to talk and gossip. So just be mindful of the things you say. So in my life, out of everything that I've said, the best advice I can give you is just do your best. Don't be a dick. Worry about yourself. Sure, you can be nice and worry about your friends, but don't try and, just be yourself. Like, fuck. Like, just be nice. Don't be a dick. Just be yourself. Because fuck, man, people can spy that fake shit a mile away.
Hey guys, how's it hanging, everybody? I hope that you enjoyed this installment of StormPod because I really enjoyed making this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please be sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform it is that you decided to enjoy this podcast on, whether that be the video version on my YouTube channel or the audio version on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Podbean, whatever. I think it's all over the dang internet at this point. So be sure to subscribe or follow or whatever it is on that platform, just so that way you are notified when we release a new episode and you can tune in to that goodness. All the music used in this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod. Be sure to check out his royalty-free music at incompetech.com. But anyway, guys, do want to thank you so much for listening to this episode of StormPod. I hope you have a nice day, and goodbye.